Okay, so as you can see, I've got the piece back into the chuck of the lathe, and I've got it so that the pinhole, this is the pinhole. That one is just barely sticking out of the chuck. I have to cut it right here, right before this hole here, to make it about that long. Or take this part off. So I just got to line my cutter up there and make a mark for that so that I can get this cut. Now, I'm going to run this all the way in here. So that's where it's going to be. I got to back this up a little. Alright, so let's see what happens here. These trying to cut a circle on a hex is always interesting. There will probably be some noise. Got to start slow. Just ticking off the top of the ridges. You can hear it there. Something's not tight enough here. Yeah, this thing's moving. Okay. But as you can see, I've got a nice cut through here now to show where I need to finish the cut. Well, I had to make a couple of tightenings and adjustments. So anyway, now that we got this marked, I am going to attempt to use my cutoff tool to cut this off. See how that goes. I take this one off. And here's the cutoff tool. You can see it's a real thin blade. Goes on here. Clamp that in. I'm going to run this over. Okay. Now the tricky part is getting this set up so that it's where I want it cut. About right there. So somewhere in that area. Alright, and it's not rubbing, so let's give it a whirl, see what happens. I need a little bit of cutting oil. I don't think this is feeding in exactly straight. This has probably got a little bit of a curve to it, or not curve, but not perpendicular to the cut, I guess you'd say. And with this little skinny blade, that makes a difference. So I do have it cut down fairly deep, so I'll finish that with the Sawzall, and then I'll have to chuck it back in there and finish off the end of it with a regular cutting tool. Okay, well, there we go. I had it most of the way through with the cutoff blade, and I just took the Sawzall and finished it off. Now all I gotta do is finish off that end, which is pretty basic. I gotta take this out. Well, my handle fell out. All that vibration. Alright. Let's see, I'm going to back up that view of the camera a little bit. I'm going to turn it. There, okay. Alright, so I'm going to take this out. I'm going to clean that off a little bit. Finish that later. So now, we'll use this one. I'm going to put that in this notch back here for facing. So then I have to, well, let's see. First, being picky about this, clean off the ways. So I can do this. All right. So I'm gonna go in there like that, and then crank this in like that. Set this up by hand until it starts to rub. And there it is. Okay. Back it off. Alright, so now we'll just finish off the end here. I can't really give you a better view of it because the machine's in the way. So, here we go. Okay, so that's pretty clean. I just got to bring it in a little more so I can kind of bevel the edge on it here. And you can hear it. All right. So let's take a look at what we got. Needs some cleanup. It's pretty good. Take the file, do it. Clean up those spaces in between. All right. Yeah. There we are. Let me get that out of the chuck. Okay, and so here you have it. All nice and clean. You can see the end of the bolt on the inside there. It's still sunk in a little bit, but that's okay. It's as far as I wanted to go. You can see here's the dent that stops the bolt from going any further. And if you'll recall, I had ground the threads off the end of the bolt there, cut it off where I thought it needed to be, and then I ground the threads off the end of the bolt so it could go in that far for here. So there it is. So now my next step is to put some paint on it or something, because if I don't put something on it, it's going to rust. It's just the way these things are. It's bare steel. So I'll have to degrease it, put some paint on it. I mean, I could leave it as is and put it in there, but then I might get, I don't know how I'd keep it from getting rusty. So I gotta put a little paint on it. But that's okay. So that's it for this part. Next part is I'll get it painted, I'll get it cleaned up and painted, and then we'll put it in the gun and see what happens. So that'll be the next part of this video series. So thanks for watching.